Welcome to the Corrective Works number 2. You can find a quiet spot on your mat, and this is just for you. So start breathing deeply. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And in this number 2 Corrective Works, we'll be focusing on standing poses, side bends and twisting. So we're starting here, rolling down, coming into a nice and easy down dog position, anchoring your index finger on the ground, and then mount, then rise onto your toe mounts. Imagine you're pushing against an imaginary resistance against your sacrum. Something is holding your sacrum down. You're pushing up against that resistance and then lowering down against an imaginary resistance. This is building the arches of the feet, so I would like you to really focus on this footwork and strengthening your arches, mobilizing your big toe mounts, and of course we're opening and stretching our chest here. So open the chest, keep your shoulder blades on your rib cage, no winging, shoulder blades are kissing. Try to really fold forward deeply into that down dog while you keep pushing and working through those feet onto your big toe mounts and lowering down. And let's come into a warrior 2, starting to lift the right leg into down dog split and then step forward. Warrior 2 with the back foot 60 degrees bend. So I would like you to push your weight into the outer edge of that back foot and then come up with the shoulders above your hips. Open the arms as if you would take a jumper off, so you're crossing the arms, and put one hand behind your head, engage the neck, push your back of your head against your hand, elongate your neck, lift all the way from your tailbone to the crown of your head into this beautiful warrior pose. Shoulders are dropped on the rib cage. Pull your pinky finger out of your shoulder, and the shoulder lowers down on the rib cage. Then inhale deeply. You can come up into a sun warrior. Stretch all the way back, lean backwards, stretch your side body. You will need a little bit of more side body stretch here, and then step forward into forward fold. We continue our round, but first bend your knees some. You can continue rolling through the feet, and then with the next inhale, roll up into standing, bend the knees some. Inhale, draw the arms overhead, relax your shoulders, exhale, and bend forward again into forward fold. We're coming into a plank position, but we're stepping back first into an all fours, and we're coming into our plank from that all fours. So what I would like you to do is put your hands underneath your shoulders, your knee underneath your hips, and then only step back with one foot. Engage your core, pull the navel in, narrow your hip points, and only then step back with the other foot. We're going further. Pilates, leg pull down, so lift one foot, point your foot, and then kick back 3 times into your heel, then change. 1, 2, 3, kicking back into the heels and then change. So one leg is lifted, and then push back into the heel 3 times. Inhale, lift, exhale, push 3 times into your heel and change. Inhale, lift, exhale, push 3 times back into your heel, push from your hands. Again, lift, inhale, and then push, exhale 3 times, push and change. Engage your core, engage your glutes. Wonderful. Just one more, change again, lift, inhale, exhale, push 3 times, and then lower your foot down and lower your chest down. 1 triceps push down, and we're lying on our chest. You can rest a little, Shalabhasana. I would like you to cross your hands, put your forehead on your hands, and we're simply lifting our legs. So same engagement, this time we're focusing on lengthening the front body. So this is lengthening iliacus, so as our hip flexors are lengthening. So imagine really to lengthen the whole leg from the center of your spine all the way into your toes. So this is not a movement coming from your glutes or simply from your hips. This is a movement coming from the center of your spine all the way into your toes. Lift and lengthen, exhale, inhale, lower back down. Lift and lengthen, exhale, inhale, lower back down. 2 more times. Give your best. Lift and lengthen as much as you can. Last time, lifting and lowering. Relax. Perfect. Now, second circle, we're coming back into a down dog. You can either just shift backwards via 4-point stance, or you're doing a nice triceps push-up. And again, move all the way through your feet. Mobilize the arches of your foot, mobilize your big toe mounts. Aging starts in the stiffening of the toe mounts, so first priority is keeping those toe mounts mobile. And we're slowly moving towards our warrior 2 on the left hand side. So when you're ready, lift the left leg all the way into down dog split and step forward into low lunge. Anchor your right foot, this time your back foot, 60 degrees, pushing the outer edges into the floor. Then lift your shoulders above your hips. Make sure you stay stable. Then take the jumper off. This will set your shoulder blades on your rib cage, lowering those shoulders, and then pull your pinky fingers out of your shoulder so your shoulder blades can drop on your rib cage. If you want to make sure your head alignment is correct, bend one elbow, place your hand in the back of your head, cradle your occiput, and then push the back of your hand into the back of your head into your hand, lengthening the crown of the head upwards, lengthening the tailbone downwards, lengthening the whole spine. And then open those arms again. Then inhale, come into Sun Warrior if you want to, lengthening the whole front side. And then come back forward into forward fold, stepping forward, relaxing the whole spine and the head forward. Make sure to release your head, nose to the knee. Bend your knees, inhale, roll up into standing, draw the arms overhead, and exhale, come back forward into forward fold. Now slightly different second round, but we're still stepping back into our plank. So come into all fours first, draw your navel in, narrow your hip points, step back into plank, but then lower down onto your elbows. So what I would like you to do in elbow plank is we first are gonna push the elbows forward for 10 seconds and then pull the elbows backwards for 10 seconds. So count very slowly, there's no movement happening. Pushing those elbows forwards and backwards is going to lengthen your lower back. So make sure your lower back stays lengthened, your tailbone lengthened. So here we go, elbow plank. Arms in Sphinx position, start with pushing those arms forward 10 seconds. No further movement here. Lengthen your lower back. Keep breathing, keep the neck long. Stay engaged in your core, near your hip points. And then 10 seconds, pulling those elbows back. Pull those elbows back towards your feet, no other movement, stay in that plank. 10 seconds here, pulling those elbows towards your feet. You're doing fantastic. Just 2 more seconds and then you can push back into downward facing dog. If you like it, you can stay here on the elbows. If that is too difficult for you, just come into your normal down facing dog on the hands. If you're on your elbows, you can drop your head on the ground, so you can simply rest your forehead or the crown of your head on the ground. Having a little bit of resistance here will engage your deep neck muscles, will lengthen your spine all the way into your neck. So if you're having your head on the floor, you want to push into the ground. And then come back, everyone, into downward facing dog on the hands. Then second round here, stepping forward into triangle pose. So you don't want to step forward too much. Anchor your left foot 60 degrees, then first turn your back to the side. Make sure your back stays long and lengthened, no crunching, and only then stretch the forward leg. If you feel like it, you can lift the arm overhead. And I would like you to focus more on your spine than on your legs. So you can narrow your stance as much as needed so that your upper back, your spine stays long and lengthened. And we're preparing for half moon pose, so we're gonna fly. So step forward on your right leg. You can keep your right hand down and your left hand in your hip, and then try to lift your back leg as much as possible. Engage your abductors, so outward rotation of both the standing and the flying leg. Outward rotation of standing and flying leg. Yes, engage those rotating muscles. And maybe you can now lift the lower hand up in the air. Beautiful half moon pose here on the right hand side. Spine stays long, engage all the way from the tailbone into the crown of your head. Wonderful. And step backwards into downward facing dog. No plank poses here, lucky you. We're starting straight away with the other side. So step forward with your left leg into triangle pose. Make sure your distance between the feet is fine. Anchor the back foot 60 degrees. First turn your upper body. Make sure that your spine is long and uncrunched and hinged. Long spine from the tailbone through the crown of the head. And only then stretch your front leg. If you have any kind of prop, you can rest your hand on your prop, or as I'm doing here, on the shin bone, but any position on that leg is fine. Engage through the core, try to lengthen your upper body. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed and rested. And mentally start to prepare for the flying pose for half moon pose. Love this one. This is one of my favorite sequences. Triangle to half moon, and step forward. Come into balance pose on your left leg. Engage those outward rotators. So first of all, open the hip, really rotate your standing and your flying leg from the hips outwards. Glutes are engaged, and this should create a stable foundation so you can lift your spine, lift the upper body, and lift the bottom hand from the floor. Keep your eyes on the ground. This will help you to keep your balance. And imagine a nice long line between your back foot, back heel, and the crown of your head. Beautiful. Don't want to come out of this, but we're coming slowly into a forward fold, relaxing the head, the spine forward, stepping forward, elongating the whole back line, and then slowly inhale, roll up, grow the arms overhead, and you can stay here. You don't need to change position. I'm just changing so you can see what I'm doing. So we're coming into tree pose, great for opening the hips, engaging again the abductors and training our foot and arches. So first of all, draw the right knee towards your chest, then bend the knee, and you can position your foot wherever you want to on your left leg. So either on your calf or above your knee. Don't position the foot against the knee, but you could just as well lean the right foot against the left ankle. Then open the arms in a V shape overhead. Drop those shoulders, engage through the pinky finger. Those arms are flying up and out. And release those arms. Release the legs if you need to shake it out. And then draw the left knee towards your chest. And now open the leg. And again, position your foot wherever you can on your right leg, except for the knee. Now in tree pose, it's especially important to engage the abductors again. So your left knee is opening, so engaging the glutes, the abductors, the outward rotators, but also of your standing foot. Trying to rotate your standing foot out, positions the weight on the outer heel, outer arches, and then grounding the big toe mount. So your glutes are engaged, your abductors are engaged, you're feeling an out flare in your hips in tree pose. Fantastic. Release, shake it out if you need to. And again, you can stay where you are. I'm just changing position so you can see what I'm doing because we're coming into rotation now. So again, draw your right knee towards your chest. Just keep your left hand on your knee. Grab your right knee and then draw the right arm overhead in a big circle and slowly open your chest, rotate towards the right hand side. Now your bottom leg is again rotating outwards, engaging the glutes, and the whole upper body is rotating against that to the right. Left leg is rotating to the left, out flaring, and your upper body is rotating to the right. Amazing twisting action in your whole body here. And shake it out, release if you need to, and then change side, grabbing your left knee, pull your left knee towards your chest, engage your outward rotation in the right foot is flaring out. Then grab your knee with the right hand, open and circle the arm overhead, rotate as much as you can towards the left hand side. So we're having this twisting action here. Your foot on the ground is in an outward rotation while your upper body is rotating inwards. Keep your balance. Rotate out with your foot, and the upper body is twisting to your left. Perfect. Keep it steady. Spot with your eyes and then release down. Shake it a bit. We're coming to the finale showdown here with a big twist and a big lunge. So change side, draw your right knee in again. Then if you can, grab your big toe with your two first fingers, and same thing. Your bottom leg is doing an outward rotation onto the outer heel, while the upper body is rotating to the right. Wonderful. You will feel this tomorrow. Relax your shoulders, arms are engaged, but your neck is relaxed. So this was a lot for the hip flexor. So we're doing a big step backwards into a low lunge. Right foot is stepping back into low lunge. You can just ease it out here. If you want to come up into a high lunge, positioning the head, elongating the spine, lifting, stretching the whole front line here. Or you can just stay low in low lunge. Wonderful. Come into pigeon pose. Left knee is forward, so you're coming down with the whole left leg. Knee is flexed, foot is flexed, protecting your knees, flexing the foot. And if you want to, you can do these spinal waves that we did in the first session. Just opening the arms to the sides, elbows wide, come up onto the tips of your fingers, and then wave through the spine. This is helping you to relax and release the psoas. Big hip flexor. Wonderful. We're stepping back into downward facing dog. Easing it out here. Move through the feet and then step forward into forward fold, nose to the knee. Inhale, roll up, draw the arms overhead. Big inhale and find your ground. Other side. Draw your left knee into the chest. You can either stay here with the knee bent, just repeat what we did previously, or level 2, grabbing your big toe mount, big toe with the 2 first fingers. Remember the action in your leg for balance and for engaging your arches. Your ground leg is doing an outward rotation, right leg is doing an outward rotation, and then open your arm, circle overhead, and the upper body is doing a rotation to the left towards the stretched out leg. Your flying leg doesn't need to be stretched entirely. This is more about giving you an anchor on the right hand side. So you're having an anchor for your rotation for your right arm. Wonderful. Big stretch for your hip flexor. Step backwards with your left leg. Come down into low lunge. You can either move it here, rolling through the foot, mobilizing your arches, or if you want a little more of an opening in the front, draw the arms overhead, placing the hands against the base of your head, elongating from the tailbone to the crown of the head, lifting those arms. You can come into a nice arch here, back bend if you want to. And last stretch, pigeon pose. Lowering your whole right leg down onto the ground, flexing the knee, flexing the foot, protect your foot. And engage the back leg. Keep pushing the back leg backwards. Waving forward. Big wavy motion here if you want to, mobilizing the psoas. Or you can also simply rest on your forehead, on your elbows, whatever can reach the ground if you feel like relaxing. This is almost the end, so we can do a few more breaths down here and then slowly prepare for coming back up. Push up through downward facing dog. And then walking forward, come last time into forward fold. Bend the knees, engage the core, engage those legs. Try to take these leg movements, the engagement in the arches into your day. And I thank you very much, and I'll see you all next time for the Corrective Works number 3, where we're doing a bit more Pilates.